Badge and gun, Cole. You're suspended. 1 month without pay. Repeated rank insubordination. Misallocation of departmental resources.
Come on.
Leroy, come on, that's over the top.
I told you both. Cut the shit. It's done. Badge and gun, Cole.
The title Haunted Houses refers to, in a sense, that by the end of this show, there's a significant element of real-world horror in it. But if we go back to the idea of a locked room and that everyone's life exists in their own interiority, everyone's a house, that's not a far jump from a locked room. Well, maybe you have several rooms inside your bigger locked room. Now we're looking at why these houses are so haunted in 2012. Hart and Cole, what did happen there?
I'm the only one ever took up for you.
Nobody without me. There is no you.
Cole is soon after suspended and continues to work the case on his own, but with a lot more leeway for drinking booze because he's not on the job anymore. Meanwhile, on Marty's sort of parallel track, he's not having the best time at home. He doesn't have the closest relationship with the women in his life.
So is my eldest still offended by my presence?
That's a haunted house. If we look at these people as houses full of rooms, and the overall narrative itself as a house full of rooms, I think we see that Hart is showing the extremity of his haunt.
In a former life, I used to exhaust myself navigating crude men who thought they were clever. So ask your questions or I'm leaving.
That kind of no-nonsense defines Maggie, I think, in a consistent way throughout the story. I think she's definitely the most emotionally intelligent character in terms of knowing herself and knowing where her husband's at and knowing and being able to decide priorities and what's important.
Maggie knows now that he has been unfaithful again. And I think if that's ever happened before and you catch someone again, then you begin to wonder about the entire period between when you took them back. This convinces Maggie to do something drastic.
So you, waiting for someone?
No.
I think she's testing herself. It's not as much about, well, Hart's messing around, I'm gonna mess around. I think it's more about what can she do to drive Hart away? Because her leaving the first time didn't work. He just held on to her even tighter. She needed to do something that would destroy his trust for her and maybe even make her seem completely disgusting to him so that he would leave her and the family alone again.
Sit down.
Okay.
It's almost self-sacrificial in that sense, rather than any form of validating her sexuality. She's much more intelligent than that. And that's why ultimately she settles on Cole, because he knows that he wouldn't be able to recover from that.
It was rust.
I indict Hart for getting her so broken that she violated certain tenets of her own humanism.
It's one of those things that just happens in life. You have your trajectories and sometimes you grow with people and then something drives you apart. Neither person's willing to repair that distance.
It's coming from my files, Marty.
Cole's the guiltiest man in the world because he sees us as all responsible for every one of our actions. And in the beginning, you can see Cole seems to sort of be letting himself get hit, and he wants that. He wants penance.
We choreographed the whole thing, we broke it into like sections, but the day we were actually shooting it, Matthew planned a kind of surprise for Hart when he was showing up on set. He had the sound guys with a speaker set up with the Rocky theme. So when Hart showed up, they started playing the music really loud. And instead of like fake fighting then, they danced with each other in a sort of tango. It was probably just to express to each other just before they beat the shit out of each other how much they love each other.
Marty?
Rushed.
Long time.
So we learn why Cole and Hart split in 2002. Cole's renewed investigation is completely stonewalled and knocked out of his hands. Maggie and Marty, we learn the reason for their divorce definitively. And finally, we end the episode knowing now the present-day incarnations of these men reunite.